One question, very, very simple question. It's Prabhu Kohe, Shlok Pade, Sadyara Nirnay. That's all Mahaprabhu said. To start this whole grand, he just says half a line, not even half a line, 10 syllables. Prabhu Kohe, Shlok Pade, Sadyara Nirnay. Means the Lord said to Ramananda, recite a shloka that ascertains what is our goal. Please tell us one shloka that says clearly what is the aim and objective of our life. I would like to hear that from you. Please tell me the most appropriate shloka that expresses the aim of our life. I'd like to hear. And then Ramananda starts. 1. Goal of our life is to satisfy the Lord. To engage in activities that are satisfying and pleasing to the Lord. That is the goal of our life. And as we heard, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, one time he was describing, he said, what is the war cry of the Hare Krishna movement, of Mahaprabhu's movement, or this Hare Krishna? He says it is only this. He says, Krishna Santosh. That everything is for the satisfaction of Krishna. Me, you, the world, our activities, your activities, the animation, like the whole of everything is just wholly for the satisfaction of Krishna. That's what we have to say. If you want to boil our message down to like one word, that's what it is. And that's what Ramananda says at the very first verse of the Ramananda Samvad. He says, what is the goal of the Lord? To satisfy the Lord. But also that shlok, that's half the shlok. The other half of the shlok says that the way we can do that, how we can do that, is by properly engaging in varnashrama dharma. And Mahaprabhu says, Eho bhaja age kahar. He says, this is external. This is an external consideration. Please say something more. So, he is saying that in relation to the sadhana. So, actually immediately the conversation shifts. The first question is already answered. Is what is the goal of our life? To satisfy the Lord. That Mahaprabhu accepts. But that shloka also says, and we should do so by engaging in varnashrama dharma. And Mahaprabhu says, that is not the full conception of how we can satisfy the Lord. You tell something further about how we can obtain that goal, how we can go about satisfying the Lord. Then Ramananda says, Yad karoshi yadashnas yad jtahosi didasi yad tapasisi konteya tat karusha madarpanam. He says that if we everything we do, everything we eat, everything we give, everything we take, everything we tolerate, everything we sacrifice, if every and all of our actions are offered to Him, we will be able to satisfy Him. From Bhagavad Gita. This way, he says, okay, our goal is to satisfy the Lord, then if we just do everything that we do for that purpose, that's a better way than to do some other duty in the name of that. Better directly say, everything we do is for the satisfaction of the Lord. To directly dedicate all of our actions to the satisfaction of the Lord. That is how we can do so. And Mahaprabhu again, he says, Eho bhaja age kahar. This is external. And because Ramananda, he described that shloka as Krishna karmarpan, or to offer our karma to Krishna. Meaning that we will remain doing what we are doing. Maybe we have this occupation, maybe we have that occupation, and from whatever occupation we're in, we will do what we are doing there in the name of Krishna and dedicate that to His satisfaction. So first, he says, we should satisfy the Lord, and the way we can satisfy the Lord is by properly engaging in our occupation. Mahaprabhu says, that is external. He says, okay, we'll continue our occupation, but we'll do so for the satisfaction of Krishna. We'll do so, and we'll consciously dedicate our activities within our occupation to the satisfaction of Krishna. Mahaprabhu says, Eho bhaja, that is also external. Tell something more. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tam sarva papebhyo moksha yashami mahashucha. Then Ramananda says, okay, swadharma tyag. First answer was to do dharma. Third answer, get rid of the dharma. Within 2 answers, he's flipped entirely what he said. And he says, okay, we'll completely surrender to Krishna and we'll leave our occupation. We must all the way serve Krishna, then we'll do nothing but that. And then he does another sloka from Uddhava Gita, same idea from Uddhava Gita, saying that man who abandons all the world, any form of worldly action, understanding the consequences of doing so, both good and bad, and who wholly dedicates himself to the service of the Lord, surrenders to the Lord, he is the best type of man. They're very, very similar to Sarva Dharma Parityaja. He tells these two shlokas. And Mahaprabhu says, that is external. And this comment, in particular, has bewildered many people. Many people have wondered, oh, this sloka is so famous, conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. How can Mahaprabhu reject it? We've seen in that Prabhupada Upadeshamrita that we've been reading. That is one question. Someone asking Prabhupada, how is this possible? And also we heard Srila Govinda Maharaj himself had this question. When he would read, this question came to him. And he asked Srila Sridhar Maharaj this question. How is this possible? So on all levels this question is coming to people. And specifically we can remember Srila Govinda Maharaj recounting this and recounting the answer he heard from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Srila Sridhar Maharaj's answer, he said, Swadharma tyag, sarva dharma parityaja, giving up all types of activities and surrendering to me. That is good, that is correct, that is necessary. But that is not a full explanation, because it does not say, what will you do then? You will surrender, you will give up everything. But what will you do? It doesn't say. It just says, give up everything and surrender to me. Okay, but once you surrender, then Srila Govinda Maharaj, one time we heard him say, he's joking, then I have surrendered, then I shall take prasadam and become fat. That is conception. Oh, I have surrendered to Krishna. My everything is Krishna. I cannot take anything but from Krishna. So I shall take this prasad and I shall become fat. I will do nothing. No, right? He said, so Srila Sridhar Maharaj's answer, he said, so there must also be some description, some explanation of how to serve within surrendered life. How to lead a life of satisfying Krishna as a surrendered soul. That is also necessary to explain. But Bhagavad Gita does not explain this. That is where Bhagavad Gita ends. Bhagavad Gita says, you must surrender to Krishna, you must give everything to Krishna, you must worship Him in all ways, you must fully dedicate yourself to Him. He will liberate you, He will give you His full mercy, He will give you entrance into His holy abode, He will do everything. But how do you actually do that? It doesn't say. Other than bow to me, worship me in every way. But what does that really mean? It doesn't say. That's why it's considered the primary education. Because then, upon coming to that conception, then you can appreciate Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Then you can appreciate Navavida Bhakti. Then you can appreciate all these purely devotional things. And how to go about that life of Bhagavad Gita. How to live the life of a person who has understood Bhagavad Gita. That is Bhagavatam. That is Charitamrita. That is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Mahaprabhu, he rejects these shlokas again. This is also not a complete answer. I want to know more. Not only I shall. And Srila Govinda Maharaj also said, no doubt this meeting, this conversation is filled with so much anticipation, so much affection, so much enthusiasm. They are coming together, they are discussing. But also, a little bit, some testing going on also. We've heard this explanation given. Because one way we can say Ramananda, he's a king, Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. And this sannyasi is questioning the king. Oh, which way shall we serve? And the king, he may think, oh, this man is sannyas. He has highest position in Varnashram Dharma. If I say, oh, by doing Varnashram Dharma, then he will be very happy. And you want to tell someone, how you want to give an answer that will please someone? Tell them what they are already doing, that is the greatest. And if they are ordinary person, oh, very good answer, very nice answer you have given. So a little bit also that way, not that that's the only way, or one way it has been described that way. We've heard from Ramananda testing Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu immediately testing Ramananda. What is this? Varnashram Dharma. Get out of here with it. Don't give me this. Don't give me that. Then, after Mahaprabhu dismisses Sarva Dharma Pritija, Ramananda says, Brahmabhuta Prashanatma Nasochiti Nakanchati Mama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. He says, the persons will obtain devotion who have no interest in anything of this world, no hankering, no attachment for anything in this world, who have completely peaceful hearts, who are wholly absorbed in divine consciousness. Those type of persons who are completely aloof to anything in this world, they will obtain devotion. Means those persons who give up all the dharmas and dedicate their consciousness to something spiritual, who go directly into some spiritual state of being. They obtain this great devotion. They obtain this ability to satisfy the Lord. That is even more. To abandon, to surrender, that is right, but more necessary upon surrendering to absorb one's heart and consciousness in the higher thing. Mahaprabhu says, this also does not explain. Brahma Bhuta, Mayavadis will relish, this is the Mayavadi shloka practically. You want to tell me to be Brahma? Okay, it is right, but that is also far from a full explanation. We can through all this Siddhanta we can say that is a full explanation. When Mahaprabhu is explaining his Atmarama shlok, he says the word Brahma, it means Bhagavan. The proper understanding of the connotation of the word Brahma is Bhagavan. So every time in every Upanishad, so many places you see Brahma, blah, 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 blah. You just, search and replace, change all with Bhagavan, and easily you'll get pure devotional expressions. Very simple matter. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. A person who's wholly situated in a peaceful life of consciousness of the Lord. No complaint about the shloka if we make this adjustment. But still, anyway, that's another thing. Mahaprabhu rejects. This is not a full explanation. Then, Ramananda says, Gyane prayasamudha pasya namanta eva jivanti sadmukaritam bhavadiya bhartam stane sita shrutigatam tanuvan manovir jay prayosu jitati popsisi taish trilokyam. Says that the incomparable Lord, the Supreme Lord, He will become conquered. We shall conquer Him. And how so? All Gyan we will reject. This Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Shlok, sometimes that Shlok is interpreted as Gyan Mishra Bhakti. It is given in Charitamrita. In that conversation, that is described as Gyan Mishra Bhakti. It means some devotion, but mixed with that idea of the absolute, of consideration of liberation and things like this. So then he says Gyan Shunya Bhakti. Higher than Swadharma Tyag, higher than Gyan Mishra Bhakti is Gyan Shunya Bhakti, knowledge-free devotion. And here, that word knowledge means knowledge of, knowledge in the sense of Jnana Yoga, in the sense of a pursuit of liberation or some calculation. Like, if I perform devotion, I will get liberation. If I perform devotion, I will get something that's better for me. Any type of calculation like that. Like, some end is to be found on this path that is anything other than satisfying the Lord, that it will be Gyan Mishra Bhakti. Make sense? Any level of calculation that by devotion, that the result of devotion, unless one is as the understanding, devotion is solely for the satisfaction of the beloved. If one has any other notion of the purpose and end of devotion, then that is called Jnana Mishra Bhakti. But Gyan Shunya Bhakti means devotion is solely for the satisfaction of the beloved. It is not mixed with any pursuit of, means liberation, chatur varga, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So, Ramananda says, Gyane prayasamudapasya. What I just said, Brahma, to be like, have this divine knowledge and devotion. Okay, actually take that and throw it away. And there is one, Saraswati Thakur, we heard from Gurudev, used to explain this sloka with an Oriyan word. This Oriyan word, papadiba. Something like this. And it means like very disgustfully, like finally, as though you'll never take it back. Just out with it. And what shall you replace it with? You're throwing this out, but here, this shloka, first giving something to replace all this surrender, all this tyag, What are you replacing that with? It says, Sat mukaritam bhavadiyavartam. Then you will throw out your knowledge, throw out all these things, and from my devotee, from the lotus mouth of the devotee, I shall hear about the Lord. This is from Brahma Stav in Bhagavatam. Brahma saying, I will throw out my gyan, and from your devotees, from the lotus mouth of your devotees, I will hear about your Nam, your Rup, your Gun, your Lila, your everything. I will understand through your devotees. And with my body, mind and words, with my whole life, I will dedicate myself according to what I heard from your devotee. This type of endeavoring like this, that type of a pursuit of satisfying Krishna. Jita, Jito, Pyasi, Taishtri Lokyam. That Lord who's the Lord of the three lokas, the heaven, the hell, the earth, the whole universe. He who's unconquerable, who's ajita, invincible, unconquerable. This type of endeavor, it conquers him. That who is ajita, he becomes jita. The ajita trilokyana becomes jita. When? How? When you dedicate yourself to serving him according to what you've received from his devotee. Means when you, and we heard describing earlier, Sri Krishna Karsunichina, the highest devotees, they can control the Lord. So if you come under the influence of their conception, this will also happen. So this first shloka, first mentioning the Vaishnava, first mention of surrender to the Vaishnava, first mention of service to the Vaishnava. And then Mahaprabhu replies, Eho hoi age kaha. Before he's saying, no. And he says, yes, now you've got it. And so already some very wonderful hint is there about where this conversation is going and who is Ramananda. Right? Because we're understanding Ramananda's devotion is so much, it can control the Lord. Right? He's already being controlled. It can culminate in that. And when Ramananda, he first gives the shloka that mentions that the Lord comes under the control of his devotee, that's also the shloka Mahaprabhu first accepts. Very, very mysterious, wonderful things. So, but Mahaprabhu says, also I want to hear more. I'll say something more. But yes, this I fully accept. My conception begins here. Right? So to be a follower of Mahaprabhu is more than to be a follower of Bhagavad Gita. You can understand every single thing in Bhagavad Gita perfectly, and you will not be a follower of Mahaprabhu. What Mahaprabhu says is higher than Bhagavad Gita. It is established by this sloka. And it begins with total surrender to the Vaishnava and total dedication to the service of the Lord under the guidance of the Vaishnava. Guru Vaishnava Anugyata. That is the Mahaprabhu's line in conception. That is not mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. You will not find anywhere. It will glorify the Anugyata of the Vaishnava. But that is Mahaprabhu's conception. Not even Hare Nama, no. You will chant Harinam? Okay, that is good. But how will you chant Harinam? Where will you chant Harinam? With whom will you chant Harinam? With what type of conception? Mahaprabhu says, you must chant Harinam with the faith and the feeling that without the association of the Vaishnava, without the mercy of the Vaishnava, you will never serve the Lord. You will never come to satisfy Him, no matter how long you chant Harinam. But that you will chant Harinam in the association of the Vaishnava, under the guidance of the Vaishnava. Sevan mukhe hi jivado, swayameva spuratyada. The Lord is revealed to those who approach Him in this way. So, Mahaprabhu accepts, but he says, I want to hear more. Then, Ramananda tells another two shlokas. One, Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati, kriyatam jadi kutopya labhyate, tatra loyam api mulyam ekalam, janma sukriter na labhyate. And he tells one other shloka before that, I don't know that one, that says that if one worships the Lord and dedicates themselves to the Lord, the way one who's very, very hungry seeks what they need to eat. Right? And this sloka saying that if you have extreme greed to buy, it's like someone who must buy something and they will give every penny they have, that type of mood of devotion is necessary. So this is the first shloka describing raga marg, as opposed to scriptural regulation as opposed to regulated practice, to have this unbridled, extreme, burning desire to satisfy the Lord within your service under Guru and Vaishnava. That will be a higher stage. That is called Prema Bhakti. This slok saying that we put on Gurudev's temple right here, this front column, that shlok is there. Goswami Maharaj's idea. He said, we will put this shlok on the front of the temple, and anyone who understands anything will think, this Govinda Maharaj, he is a Ragamard Guru. It means you will fearlessly give everything you have for the Lord. Srila Sridhar Maharaj's comment. You will buy it. Whatever the cost, it doesn't matter, you're buying it. It doesn't matter how much it costs, that much you'll give. If you go into debt for eternity, no hesitation, necessary to buy. And Janma Sukritar Nalabhyate. That type of, what can be obtained, what can be revealed by that type of devotion, you cannot get that through 10 million lifetimes of Sukriti. Why? Sukriti means good fortune, means some beneficial external influence. In a general way we can say. But this shloka is describing extreme internal self-manifest desire. So no amount, that is the real nature of devotion, that is the real nature of what is pleasing to Krishna, is natural direct expressions out of the heart of the devotee. So no amount of beneficial things which only can come to try to awaken that within one, those things in themselves can never equal a little bit of that actual substance, a little bit of that direct attraction and heartfelt, strong desire to serve and satisfy the Lord. That is the main wealth. That is the actual vital force of Krishna consciousness. For Srila Govinda Maharaj's way of saying that, the fortunate soul will acquire the wealth of Krishna consciousness in the form of the property of hankering. This state of being in a desirous, conscious state, that's a property of Krishna consciousness. That the actual wealth or concrete effect, it's in that state of being. Anyhow, so Ramananda says these two shlokas about Prema Bhakti and hinting to Ragamarg. And then Mahaprabhu says, yes, this is correct. This is very good. But I want to hear even more. Everything, this type of mood, this type of approach, yes, I accept. Yes, wholehearted surrender to the Vaishnava. Yes, extreme loving desire to, yes, this is exactly what I like. But tell me more how I can express this, perfect this. Then Ramananda goes up through the rasas. He says to have dasya ras devotion, to have sakya ras devotion, to have vatsalya ras devotion, to have madhur ras devotion. Each one of these is successively better. And so many shlokas of evidence for these things. And then when he begins to describe madhura ras, then his systematic presentation goes a little bit, maybe a little intoxicated mood comes, and he begins to describe different aspects of the Braja Gopis devotion. Anyway, so many things are revealed in this conversation. Even the slokas we already mentioned, so many more things can be said. Anyhow, their conversation goes on. And these type of things have all been revealed by Ramananda Rai, appreciated so much by our Guru Varga, and they form the backbone of our whole Siddhanta. Yeah, I'm going to stop. Maybe in the evening we could go into more things about Ramananda Rai. And there's more things in the Ramananda Samvad and also many things in the other pastimes and things. So forgive me if I made any offense or inappropriate presentation of these exalted topics. They're the wealth of our Guru Varga.